Today we're going to be doing a full MOT checklist that you can do at home for all you guys with modified cars that have got cut springs, whatever. Even if you've got a normal car, we're going to go over the car, do a full checklist of what you can check at home yourself to make sure your car passes its MOT. Let's get into it. Okay, the first thing you want to do is go around and look at rust. I know this is a rat rod, but this is just superficial. This is not the rust I'm talking about. I'm talking about like on suspension points, main structural points of the car. Open your bonnet, have a look around your shock towers, all this stuff. Make sure there's no rot on there. I mean, mine look really, really good. To be fair, on mine, have a look at the seals along the side. Mine are covered. There's a rule of thumb, a certain distance away from any mounts like seatbelt mounting points, anything like that. Get under the car, have a look, see if there's any rust. Little rust holes every now and again is normal. You know, you get that on old cars. But if the seals have got structural damage, the seal is this piece here. Mine's got a cover on it, so the MOT testers aren't allowed to take covers off anymore. They're not allowed to do it, or they're not allowed to poke holes in the body. So if you've got side skirts on, for your own peace of mind, maybe take them off and have a look, but check your seals and that. I'm not going to check my rear shock mounts because I know this is literally just had mine welded up on this. Look at all your structural points, make sure the rot hasn't got out of hand. Okay, the next thing is to go around your car and making sure there is no sharp edges sticking out anywhere. Go around the vehicle. If you've got any sharp edges that can do any damage to pedestrians or anyone on the street the car may come in contact with, then that is a no-no. You have to get rid of the sharp edge, put some tape over it so it's not sharp anymore, anything like that. See, I'm in an iron about my roof rack, simply because of this here. So I'm taking a risk with this roof rack. I don't know, but seeing as it's a roof rack, it's a bit, a bit of one of them. But looking around the car, I don't have any sharp edges, nothing sticking out. When I put this piece of metal on the front, I made sure these edges were tucked in there. I'll probably take the chains off for my MOT. These are not really sharp edges, so putting backwards. I am a bit worried about this. I may fail on this, but I may take that off for my MOT. So yeah, no sharp edges on the car itself. Next, you need to make sure all doors, bonnet, boot and all that lot, open and close securely. They can open all right, in the case of an emergency, you can get out the vehicle, and they close securely, so you're not going to fall out the vehicle when you're driving. Same as the bonnet needs to be able to close properly, lock down, no risk of it opening when you're driving. Same with your boot and all stuff like that. Okay, this next one is all about your lights. Okay, make sure all your lights work. You need to make sure that you've got your side lights, they all work correctly. You've got your headlights, they all work correctly. You've got your full beam, dip beam. You need to make sure, see, I can't see if mine are working or not. I'm gonna have to look at the video after this. You need to make sure your indicators are working and not flash. If one of your indicators is flashing too fast, it means you've got a bulb out. You've got to make sure the other ones are working. You've got to make sure your hazards all work. I'm hoping that was all right for mine. Now to the back. First things first, put the lights back on. Hopefully I've got lights both sides here. Indicate left, indicate right. Make sure my hazards are working. It depends on what vehicle you got. Make sure my reverse light's working. I'm not sure if it is. I've never checked on this car, so hopefully it is. And rear fogs. And importantly, do we have number plate lights on? Yes, both. Actually, I almost forgot brake lights. Brake lights. Okay, next you want to be checking the front windscreen for no chips or cracks bigger than 10 mil in the driver's view. I've got nothing, or 40 mil elsewhere. I have no chips or cracks in my windscreen at all, so we are all good there. Windscreen wipers must clear water properly with no splits or anything in the wiper. I already know that. And another thing, make sure you've got water in your squirters and they work. I already know that on mine I'm going to need 2 new wipers for my MOT because it's, see that? Oh, see this? Yeah, mine's falling apart. So I know I need new wipers on mine, which I'm going to have to get because my MOT runs out on Monday, which is in 2 days. Next, you need to make sure your horn works. I know mine does because I've got an air horn. Time to wake the neighbours up, but here we go. Oh, button's there. Yeah. I don't want to hit mine too hard because it's an air horn. You might have heard that. Okay, next thing to check is your tyres. Make sure you need a maximum tread depth of 1.6 millimeters. You can use a coin, or if you get one of them tread meter readers. I know that all my tyres are pretty bloody good all the way around. Make sure there's no cracks in the sidewall or cracks in the tyre. If they're old, make sure there's no bulges on the inside or outside of the wheel. Just want to make sure your tyres look good. No damage, no obvious signs of any damage to them or anything. See, I've got plenty of tread on mine and on the rears. If you're on a lowered vehicle, see, I've got a slight wear mark on mine where before I sorted the suspension out from the previous owner, it was rubbing a bit, but it's not too much. Any damage to the sidewall like that, they might be funny on if you're very, very low. Okay, and anyway, speaking of lows, we'll come to something in a minute. Rear springs. Yeah. Also, the tyres must be the same tyre size and type on both axles, which means you can have different size tyres front to back, but if it's on the same axle, this side and that side, both rears must be the same size and both fronts must be the same size. When it comes to your brakes, right, your car must, if you're driving it along and stuff and you brake, check to see if it pulls to one side or the other, because that'll be uneven brake balancing, which they test on a machine. Make sure your handbrake doesn't come up too far and it can hold your car on a hill without creeping down. That's important. Make sure there's no grinding noises coming from your brakes when you brake. No smell of anything when you're braking. You'd know if there was something wrong with your brakes. You'd feel it, to be honest. And you car guys out there, you know about brakes, don't you? So, also, sit in your car, pump the brake pedal a few times, then walk around your car, get underneath and look for any signs of brake fluid on the floor, see if you've got a leak anywhere, okay? If you're better at looking under cars, or if you're not a novice and you'd like to check out your cars, check your brake lines. If they any look, sometimes if your brake line looks really dirty, they might say it's corroded, so give them a good clean, your brake lines and stuff, okay? When it comes to suspension, right? Bounce your car on each corner, and the car shouldn't keep bouncing, it should just settle. That means your shocks are okay. Also, if you're a bit more advanced, jack your car up and check your shocks to see if you've got any moisture down them. That means your shocks are leaking, right? If you don't really care that much and your shocks are leaking a little bit, wipe it off. MOT people don't want to see that. If they see misting or weeping on the shock, right, even if you just want to get through an MOT and then you can go and buy yourself some shocks, clean it off, right, so it doesn't look like it's there, all right? Trust me. Listen for any clunks or knocks whilst driving. When you go around a corner, if you've got a constant knock or anything like that, you might hear it, right? Any clunks or knocks, stuff like that. Also, if you're more advanced, get under your car, get the front wheels off, check your CV boots, inner and outer, see if they're split, because that will fail as well. Check your CV boots on your drive shafts, the little rubber concertina looking things that are attached to the inner and outer part of your drive shaft. Check that they're not split and there's no oil flicking around, or the grease flicking around, okay? Check that as well. They also check steering, so make sure there's no excessive play in your steering wheel. Park your car on a flat spot, put your wheels ahead and turn the steering wheel. Get somebody to look at the wheels, or put your head out the window while turning the steering wheel. If the steering wheel is moving loads but the wheels aren't moving a lot, you've got excessive play in your rack, and nobody likes play in their rack. Exhaust, right? Check for any blowing sounds you've got in your exhaust, because they probably fail on a blowing exhaust. Stick a rag in the end of your exhaust and check for pressure, and it might also blow the sound out somewhere else louder, and you can find where the spot is. You can also see if there's any blows in your exhaust. If you're more advanced, get under the car and check for any black soot marks anywhere. That's normally a blow in the exhaust. Check for that. Make sure the exhaust is securely mounted. You want it to be, make sure it's up secure, it's not rattling around too much, it doesn't look like it's about to fall off, and anything like that. Also check for excessive smoke. They will fail a car if it's got smoke pouring out of it. Okay, make sure your number plate and VIN plate are clearly visible. Wipe any dirt off of it, they want to be clearly visible. Obviously the back number plate lights have to light up at night. And the VIN plate should be at the bottom of your windscreen somewhere. Not sure about that one, but I know the number plate has to be clean. Okay, ignition lights, ignition dashboard, instrument cluster, whatever you want to call it, lights. When you're turning the ignition on, you want to make sure you've got the airbag lights and all that, and they should go off after a certain time. I don't seem to have anything Oh, I've got my airbag light here, and then it goes off. There we go. I've currently got a handbrake light and a battery light. That's because my engine's not started. So if I turn my engine on, everything should go out apart from my handbrake light. Take the handbrake off, goes out. There we go. If any lights on your dashboard stay on, it could be an MOT failure depending on the light and what it means. Remember that. If your car passes all these checks, you've got a much better chance of smashing your MOT. You know, don't say, I'm not going to say that, you know, everything I've just told you means you're definitely going to pass. It's not. But they're a lot of the most important things they check on a vehicle. So check them out. I've actually got an extra bit on my car that I've got to sort out. This is for people with cut springs or very short lowering springs at the back or front of the car, right? If you jack your car up and your spring moves or drops and your spring falls out, you're going to fail. Right? You shouldn't be able to jack the back of the car up and your spring falls out. So what you need is some limit straps. I bought myself some limit straps. This is what limit straps look like. And this is what limit straps do. You basically strap them, you put one end of the strap, bolt it to your body somewhere, and the other end of the strap, you bolt it to your arm that drops down that's got the spring in it. Right? I've still got to fit mine. I'll probably do a video on that maybe, but I've got to fit mine. I'm going to try and do it today. You bolt the other half to the arm that swings down. So when you jack your vehicle up and the suspension drops, it stops it from dropping far enough for the spring to fall out. You need some limit straps if you've got slam suspension or cut springs like me. Okay, people, I hope this was a help for anyone out there that's about to have their MOT, especially on a custom vehicle. And I'll see you in the next one, peeps.